Good morning, everybody. I have been thinking a lot about all you homeschooling parents. So I wanted to hop on here today, it being a fresh start to a new week. I know we have like 5 or 6 weeks of school left. So I have been doing a preschool / homeschooling my own child for 5 years now. I've done it all wrong. So I can tell you a few things of what not to do and a few things that have worked for me. Okay, first of all, if your kid is not in a compliant mood that day, if they're having a bad day, if they're just being extra ornery, don't do school. Put it off for the next day. It's not going to help you or that kid. Secondly, be okay, especially right now with your kids having bad days. They're confused. They're emotional. Their brains are still really, really trying to figure this all out because they can't wrap their head around it. For their really logical brains, which is what children are, this whole thing to them doesn't make sense. Is we have to be extra patient right now. I know in general patience is hard, but right now we want the world to be patient with us, right? We have bad days. I have bad days where I get depressed, I get lazy, and I get unmotivated. And then I have other days I feel completely normal and like my same ambitious, get it going, go with it self. So we have to think about our children in those same ways. They are going through a lot. They really are. We feel like we're going through a lot because we have the financial strain and all of the other things. But in a child's mind, this is the end of their world. They can't see their friends. They can't go to the park. They can't even go to a movie. My kid's upset he can't go to Goodwill. He keeps talking about it. Can we go drive by Goodwill, see if they're open? Third of, what to do or what not to do is diet. Really think about what your kid's diet is. And since now you're the teacher, think about the days that you feed them oatmeal in the morning with raisins and cinnamon, or the mornings that you feed them Pop-Tarts, and see the difference that they learn, the difference that they act that day. Do your own mom evaluation, especially those of you that now get to be stay-at-home moms and do this whole homeschooling thing. It's a lot to take in that you didn't choose. I totally get it because I had to choose it and I had to really think about it. And in this last year, I felt like it would have been easier to put him in school because he was so difficult for me. But at the same time, now that this all happened, we have to count our blessings. And I'm glad that that part of his life hasn't changed so drastically. You go ahead and you go and do your own research if you want, but look at child development like I did for the last 5 years on and off. This is all stuff that you can do, but I've done it. So if you want to listen to me, I can tell you what's worked for me, okay? I don't believe in cramming, depending on your age group, okay? But the age group that I work with, okay, it just doesn't work. They don't absorb enough. If you want them to absorb what they're taught and for you not to waste your time, limit the education time to short amounts every day and don't take a day off, even the weekends. And if you want to not waste your time or your energy, make sure you know what you also can handle. So even if the kids can keep going, but you're not a teacher, so you're like, oh, I'm done after 15 minutes. Be done after 15 minutes, but get 15 minutes of new knowledge into them that you want them to know. Teach them a skill or something about history that maybe they haven't learned that is good to know now. 15 minutes a day works for me. I do 15 minutes to a half an hour, depending on the distraction level, to get through everything. Usually my own child. Everybody else usually sits for me just fine, because remember, they're your children, and it is extra challenging. because they don't have that like, oh, I want to, be good for my teacher. I want to, I'm a people pleaser. When you're a people pleaser, you're not a people pleaser for your mom. Not normally. I know, because when Jaron opts out of school, which he does do sometimes, and I allow it because I know that it's easier than to force it, I have a very smooth class, and it feels like, oh my gosh, I really am a teacher and people listen to me, because Jaron's also a leader. So when he doesn't listen, guess what? All the other kids don't listen. And when he does silly things, then they follow. You definitely, okay, have to be patient with yourself too. You're not a teacher, okay? Second of all, do other things that you wish that school would have done. That's how I teach. I wish school would have done that. I wish school would have taught me that. So I teach those things. We are their first teachers. And now you guys are having to step up and really help the teachers, right? Because you're the hands-on part and the teachers are doing their best. So 1, diet. You as a mom choose what works best for your child to help them focus. Maybe oatmeal over Pop-Tarts, okay? Secondly, stimulate them physically or mentally in some way. So you do your own thing, okay? Embrace it, you guys. Don't be so afraid of it. Think of if you as a child, okay, had a teacher, what you would want. Fun, okay? I know this isn't fun for anybody, but do your best. Like, think of a fun way. Use your creativity. Get online. See what other people have done. Now, once you've stimulated them, okay, if it's nice outside and you have a yard, if you can go for a walk, a bike ride, okay, do that. It's very important to stimulate our body, stimulate our mind. But once you get so stimulated, because you do kind of just, stimulation just kind of happens, and it happens like a light bulb. Like it really does. So to be able to bring that down, like kids, when they come right back in from recess, they can't learn right away. It's really hard. It takes about 15 minutes for the class to settle down, for the teacher to really get started. Once they're stimulated, then you calm them down in some way. You could even say, hey, let's do our chores. That's a good way. Whatever. Do something that's on your list of things to do that they haven't. And then after about 15 minutes of the stimulation coming down, they will still be very stimulated, and they still might be somewhat hyper, but they'll be much easier to sit down. Okay. So if you know their timed sit downs with their classes, time this right, and you might get a better result. All right. So I hope that these tips helped you guys. See what works for you and get back to me. All right. And we'll get this all figured out together. I'll try to help you with my experience. I hope you're all staying healthy and happy and just being. Because every day we just have to be at this moment in time and do what we can. So I wish you all the best, and I hope you a happy Monday. Bye.